Attention Black Shirt 5641, you have now been given permission to shoot on site. I repeat, you have been given permission to shoot on site. Attention Black Shirt, beyond category female heading towards the bay, 5'4", wearing a green blouse and black jeans. Permission to shoot on site. I repeat, permission to shoot on site.
Why are you doing this? Why won't you just let us leave?
So much for a united kingdom.
The date is 22nd of September 2027. Time 1:15 p.m. Interview now beginning. Your name is Jane Sullivan, is that correct?
You know it is.
Drop the tone. Do you know why this interview is happening?
I reported a story.
You reported a story that is expressly forbidden by government statutes upon our organisation.
Sorry. I didn't realise investigation and reporting now needed permission to be written about.
For the record, Jane Sullivan has had a long history of unnecessary and damaging reports regarding the government. Miss Sullivan got in contact with the underground group known as the Endeavour, an action expressly forbidden by the Home Office standards. She has now been removed at her position at our newspaper and by the direct order of the Home Secretary. Miss Sullivan, you will recount the events of your interaction with the Socialist Youth Group and in particular their leader, known as Plantagenet.
Loyal subjects of this United Kingdom, this is your Prime Minister speaking. The enactment of the Patriot Act through our United Parliament has been in action for a month now, and already we see the benefits. A sign of British superiority.
Is there anything else on? It's not even that convincing. If you're going to manipulate an entire population, at least make it convincing.
Yes. Well, the Prime Minister does have one problem that gets in the way of all his broadcasts.
What's that then?
He's a moron.
Disloyal subjects who commit treason are being taken off the streets. Those who oppose the progress of Britain and His Most Royal Majesty. God save the King.
I'd had a contact with an associate of the Endeavour.
Did they get in contact with you, or you with them?
He with me. I was given a personal invite to the Endeavour headquarters. We agreed a meeting for before curfew.
Jane Sullivan, is it?
Yes. I take it you're my contact?
Ben James. My friend told me... Friend isn't really the word I'd use. I've done some work for him every now and again, but he told me to get in contact with you.
I'm guessing this friend of yours is part of the Endeavour.
Not quite. He's the leader.
Plantagenet.
That's the one.
We don't know much about you, do we?
That's sort of the idea of a secret guerrilla group.
I suppose so. If I can ask you a few questions.
I suppose.
How did you first become involved with the Endeavour?
Can I ask you a question?
I suppose so.
You're reporting the story independently, yes?
Yes, I'm not a spy.
Good. Well, me and Plantagenet knew each other before this life. We chose this life together, and now there's no turning back. Speaking of no turning back, might we carry on?
The Home Office has requested...
Ordered, more like.
Miss Sullivan. The Home Office has ordered for you to describe what your first impressions of how powerful the Endeavour is. This isn't funny.
Powerful. The Endeavour aren't some nationalist group, content on bringing the socialist revolution. No, it's much simpler than that. They were just young men and women who had their futures ripped away from them. They had dreams and ambitions, but the old government took it away from them and left them with a very unforgiving world. Some just accepted it. But people like Plantagenet, Hanover, Ben, all of them, they didn't accept it and they wanted to fight back. They were just young people. Young people who wouldn't stop without a fight.
So, not very powerful at all then.
Oh no, very powerful. You take away someone's dreams and you have no idea what monster you create.
So, what do you think?
Of what? What, Greensleeves?
Suitable for a new national anthem. Has history behind it. Some say Henry VIII composed it for his lover Anne Boleyn.
Oh, the same Anne Boleyn he ordered to behead for treason and incest.
It's a much nicer story if we ignore that part. Jane Sullivan, isn't it?
Well, apparently you asked for me.
I did.
Why me?
Usually I don't like journalists.
Oh, thanks.
Yet I've read your pieces. You think by yourself, not guided by government censorship.
Well, I'm flattered.
Don't be. Yes, you can ask questions.
Thanks for the permission. So, tell me, why Plantagenet?
Know your history. Plantagenet was one of the great dynasties of English kings. Except they weren't. They were French. People seem to forget that when they rant on about England for the English. It's a kind of irony. Same with the Hanovers, they were German. The king is a puppet of the Prime Minister. Just a figurehead now. Not even a popular one.
You talk about the dynasty of kings. So, what do you want the Endeavour to be remembered for? Because, to be honest, I don't know how you're supposed to start a nationwide, let alone worldwide campaign from a derelict building.
We may not be the ones to lead the revolution, but we should be planting the seeds of the people. Every time the establishment wins, every time, even when they claim to be fighting against the establishment, they're rich men in their towers of gold. We want a proper revolution, so that everyone is truly equal, no class. I wish to be remembered for being that man who sowed those 1,000 seeds of revolution.
What would you say your assessment of Plantagenet was?
He was the figurehead of a young group angered by their futures being ripped away from them. But he was more extreme. When he spoke of revolution, he genuinely thought it was the way forward. You could see it in his eyes. In his eyes and in the way that the calm way that he spoke. You could see that this was a man who wanted a different world because the one that he was living in was far too painful.
You are probably wondering why I requested you here. It wasn't a free interview. I wanted to offer you an opportunity, a story.
What story?
Rarely do underground organisations like mine offer to get the press involved. You'll probably spin it into some different light. Whatever sells the morning paper, huh? I'm hoping you're different. We have an operation against the black shirts tomorrow. I would be thankful and intrigued if you came along. We have an operative providing the information.
You do realise the black shirts work for the government?
I thought you were the kind of journalist who followed a good story and wasn't afraid of what people think. So you'll do the story?
Yes. I'll do the story, but one more question. Just, not for the report, just out of curiosity.
Oh, curiosity. Don't see that much anymore.
How did you so easily bring me here and show you and all your colleagues' faces? You don't know what I could have done. I could have walked straight out of here. I could have gone to the government. I could have told them all of your plans.
It's quite simple, Jane. If you had done that, I would have killed you there and then. But, as it happens, you didn't, and now we are the best of friends.
Yes. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Plantagenet. I'm guessing you're escorting me again.
Yep, you got that right.
It's a bit intimidating, you know.
It's the whole point though, really, isn't it?
Fair play. You know I've been told about the whole thing about not talking.
Well, you could say you're not going to tell, but Putin said he wasn't going to invade the Baltic states. Look at how that turned out.
Yeah, fair point. Can I ask you a question?
Wouldn't exactly be a good journalist if you didn't, would you? Fine, go on.
What is your role in the endeavour?
Jester. Yeah, apparently not then. I'm the medic. I don't do a lot of the killing or whatever, so I'm more like a doctor, but I don't have a doctorate. I used to be a nurse.
A nurse? That's a bit odd for a rebel organisation, isn't it?
Really? Who do you think patches them up when they do something stupid like getting shot? I also do a little bit of delivering, you know, delivering people back and forth, like you. Apparently I have a not nicer face than the rest of them.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But tell me, how did you get involved?
Well, it's not exactly a job application if that's what you're thinking. It's more right place, right time, or rather wrong place, wrong time.
So what is your wrong place, wrong time?
Do you remember the Queen Elizabeth Hospital incident?
Yes, isn't that the one where the staff rebelled?
No. Listen to yourself. We just complained about how we were treated, how we were paid, the conditions that we had to work in. And then suddenly the press are making us the public enemy. And then suddenly our patients started spitting at us even more, swearing at us even more, forgetting that we were there to try to help. Well, soon enough, we're not going to be there to help. Can you blame us? We've done a peaceful protest. I'm a peaceful person. Suddenly the black shirts decided, or rather the government advised them to do something about it. The world gone mad. The Endeavour showed up though. They helped us out. Didn't exactly give us a good public image though, did they? I patched up the Plantagenets as a thank you. Now suddenly he's fascinated by me. No idea why.
Yeah, I sort of get that.
It's often how he meets people. But because I choose not to kill people, because I choose not to hurt people, this is the reasons why I have to swap my clothes out every day. I don't want to do this stuff. I'm tired of it, but I have to. It's my life now. Right, enough with the questions. Let's get you back to the sector before curfew.
Please make your way to the nearest residence or return home. This is a message from the government. God save the king.
How did they get through the sector barriers without detection?
You see, there's quite a few things that I learned from them. You can't start a revolution or a resistance in plain sight, nor can you do it with just fighters. They had young people everywhere, many of them checkpoint guards and company suppliers, so they could get what they wanted and where they wanted. Not only could they get everywhere, but they were everywhere. This isn't an invasion. This is a resistance that they see as an occupation.
This is not an occupation. This is the United Kingdom.
Yeah. United.